Oh, shh. No coughing in public. Sorry. Hey, Jim Adkins here from Adkins Results. Good morning. It's day 12 on your 30-day challenge. How are you doing? If it's not day 12, that's okay. I don't hear from you guys. I don't know if you're alive or dead out there. So I see you tune in every once in a while, and I understand maybe you're driving, or maybe you're working, or maybe you're cooking breakfast or something. This is going on. I appreciate that. But if you don't mind, every once in a while, leave me a comment. Tell me how things are going with you. I really appreciate hearing from you, even if it's terrible, even if you try and you stumbled, or you tried and you fell. We talked to a couple of people who, life situations happen, and it knocks people off track of their goals. Everybody experiences that. And when you share, what happens is other people relate, and they can either help, or you've helped them just by letting them know they're not alone. Have you ever in your life, and I'm sure you have, I'm asking a rhetorical question, but think about this for a minute. If you ever thought an idea or done something or found yourself in a routine, rut, or even a progressive motion forward and thought, I'm the only one. Maybe it's a good thing you're moving forward and you're thinking, I'm the first one to think of this. Or you're going through it alone and you feel like you're struggling. Or, maybe you like certain foods, and you're thinking, I must be weird to like this. And then all of a sudden, somebody else, or you read it or you see it, and other people are doing it, and you go, I'm not alone. And it kind of makes you feel good. It kind of justifies your creative craziness. Or you just find out that you're like a lot of other people, and it's okay. So if you comment and you leave some feedback, others will see it, and you might help somebody along the way. And plus, I appreciate it. I like to know that, I'm not doing this just for me. But if it's just for me, it's helpful too. Okay, so we got day 12. Not a whole lot to discuss today. You should be in a pretty good routine by now. It's 12 days in, and even if you're 5 days in because you started late or whatever, and if you just pick up on these videos, you can go back and start with video 1. There's no rules here, other than if you're going to do it, you need to do it. Your results will be in direct proportion with the amount of effort that you put into it, right? So today, you would benefit from waking up, putting on a good state of being, looking positive and looking forward to your future. Review your goals, end the night successfully, start the day successfully. Practice and train your willpower by completing simple tasks. Making your bed is a great one. When you get up, brush your teeth, take a shower, whatever you do in the morning, don't leave the bathroom a mess. Cleaning up after yourself will make you feel good, and it'll also make other people feel good. Even if they don't notice it, walking into a clean room clears your mind. Walking into clutter keeps your mind cluttered. I know it sounds simple, but really it's effective tool. And you can kind of tell if you go back to your room or you come home and you didn't clean. And it's silly, I know, but listen, if you didn't, you walk back in, you can relive the feeling you had in the morning. You'll know, man, I must have been in a hurry this morning, or man, I must not have been thinking correctly this morning. And those are the days you usually leave the house and forget something. So do yourself a favor, take the time to get up early. Take the time to go to bed on time. Love yourself. Trust that what you're doing is right for you. And we're going to talk a little bit about trust, and then I'll jump. I got some lessons here this morning, which is awesome. But trust that what you're doing is right for you. And when you have that trust and that love for self and that optimistic enthusiasm for tomorrow, things will inevitably roll forward in a positive way. I've talked to a few people that everybody has triggers, okay? And this is one of those things where you're not alone. Everybody has triggers that you'd be moving along, and maybe you have a situation where once a month for a week, you have a certain dynamic occur. Maybe you need to be somewhere, or people are with you, or whatever it is. But and I'm arbitrarily making this up. But let's just say once a month that happens, okay? And you got 3 weeks to where you're chugging along, you're doing good, you're picking up momentum, and things are really good. And then that fourth week or that third week comes in, and the dynamic shifts to the regular dynamic that maybe it's been going on forever, but boom, here it is. And you find yourself falling right backwards into old patterns. It happens, okay? You can stop it from happening, but it does happen. And it can be silly little things, and it can really be things that don't make sense to you. I mean, you might react or respond to those triggers in a negative way, and you just can't seem to break the cycle. Well, you can break the cycle. You need to trust that what it is you're doing on those other 3 weeks is progressively moving you away from that cycle. So now you trust, you love yourself, and you look at the cycle, and you have to evaluate, is it worth continuing? Because you may be able to eliminate that altogether. You may be able to complete that cycle and say, look, I don't need this anymore. This is changing. On the other hand, there may be situations where it's not possible to eliminate that cycle. Maybe it's part of your work. Maybe it's part of your family dynamic. Maybe it's part of your health routine, and it needs to continue. You need to reframe the meaning of what's taking place. You need to re-justify the actions that are about to take place on a regular basis. Re-justify them. Why are they happening? What's the benefit? Where's the good in it? And then when you find that, find in yourself a place where you can react and respond differently to the stimulation. I know that was vague, but there are 3 of you specifically that I'm talking to, and you know what I'm talking about. And when that happens, we've discussed in our coaching sessions that how you respond is entirely up to you. I'll be specific in a situation that doesn't pertain to you 3. Well, it might pertain to somebody out there who I'm talking to too. That's what I'm talking about. When you hear it, you know you're not alone. So let me do this one, because this is a big one for a lot of people. Depression. People will, I'm depressed, or I get depressed, or I feel like when I can't move forward and I set lofty goals and I don't hit them and I don't make them, and it makes me feel like I just don't want to do anything. It gets me to a point to where I can't move forward, and I just want to give up, and I get depressed. And that depression is something I can't control. And the depression, I don't choose depression, and it holds me down. And I've told you before, and I'll tell you again right now, it's a choice. Now, I know there are clinically depressed people, and I'm not making light of any of that, but most people who claim depression really just have an overwhelming sense that that is how they're supposed to feel, or that's how they want to feel about this, and that grows and becomes powerful. I've witnessed it my whole life with people that are very close to me at a younger age and as a young adult, and there were very debilitating, crippling belief systems that held them into a pattern of destruction. And once they were able to release that and understand that they are in control, they choose that state of being. Believe it or not, they're where they feel the most comfortable, or were where they felt the most comfortable. So when that situation or dynamic comes back up, you need to trust that the path you're on is the correct path. What better way to test it than to put its feet to the fire? You're moving forward, and the dynamic shows back up, and it's not a part of the response or reaction that's geared or triggered from that stimulation point is not a part of the new you. They're not a part of the new business, not a part of the new belief system, not a part of the new diet, habit, health issues. It's not. And it triggers that emotion or feeling or state of mind where you're going right back into it. Trust that this is not who you want to be. This is not how the new you will respond to that situation. What better way to do that than to look at it objectively before it happens? Then as it happens, witness it, pay attention to it. I have a very lovely person who works for a group of people who are idiots, idiots. And this beautiful, smart, intelligent person will be in a fantastic mood most of their time, and then even move to the job with new enthusiasm and new skill sets, and is constantly trying to improve themselves and looking for better ways to help who they work for and the companies that they're developing and building. And it only takes 10 or 15 minutes into the day before the triggers start to happen. Why? It's not, they can't get the other people to see the importance that they see with regards to what's taking place. And bless their heart, they feel very responsible for the company they work for, the companies that they're working for, that they feel like they can't leave or the company will collapse. And I've witnessed it as a consultant, and it's very true. It's the absolute truth. So how do you build that? Well, you need to trust that what you do for yourself with the best intent, through your integrity, your honesty, your love for other people, your love for the clients that you're serving, not necessarily the people that are running the company, but the clients that you're serving, they have your best interest, and you do your best that you can based on that. When it gets to the point to where it's no longer serviceable or no longer in your best interest because your health is suffering, it's time to start looking for an exit strategy. And that's something you need to do. And then you need to trust that your decisions will be right. Well, how do you do that? I'll give you this and we'll end the video, okay? How do you know that what you're going to do, what decisions you make, you can trust? You've got a couple of options. One, consult somebody you trust and love to give you honest and non-judgmental feedback. Get somebody outside of whatever it is that's taking place with you. Find a coach. Call me up. This is what I do. Find somebody with an optimistic, but not overly optimistic, and not too opinionated idea based on the situation, to share your feelings, share your intellect, share what it is you need to outline, and listen. You don't need to take their advice to the letter, but what you can do, especially with a good coach, is find alternative ways of looking at the situation. Find alternative solutions to how you can handle yourself in that situation. Good morning, Mr. Murray. I love seeing you on here. And thank you for the feedback. So that's one. Find an outside ear who you trust, that's intelligent. Sometimes you can find somebody that's not intelligent, who's not opinionated, that will listen, and then repeat back to you their point of view too. And an outside the box opinion gives you another option. Number two, sit down in your most happy, confident state of being. Find a place that's yours, your space, outside, above, and beyond whatever it is that stimulates you to that mood. So during the 3 weeks where nothing's happening, or when you get home away from work and you find your happy place, take time for yourself. Write out the pros and cons. Remember that? You have a little list of paper. This is the pros, this is the cons. And if you do it correctly, you can find a pro for every con and a con for every pro. But when you start to look at that later, and you don't look at it right away, you don't write it down and then evaluate it. You write it down and put it away. Come back and look at it. Put it away. Come back another day and look at it. And pretty soon you'll see the truths and the realities. How do you trust what your decision's going to be, or how to make that great decision later, is to create new options for the same stimulation point. If you're in a job you hate, go find somebody who appreciates you. Another job. I'm not saying quit. I'm saying find another job, another company, somebody who will look at you and go, you know what? You're underpaid and overworked, and we would love to have somebody like you work for us or run our company or help build our company. When you do that, you now have an option. And that option gives you the freedom to really look at your current situation. You don't feel trapped. You don't feel pressured. And now you can go, okay, I really hate it here. Or, you know what? I really think I can salvage this, but I'm going to have to buy the company from this son of a gun and turn it around because they're going to run it into the ground. Or let's go to another place because let's say it's a family dynamic and you just respond to the situation because of deep-seated feelings toward other aspects of the family dynamic happens. When the stimulation point is not around you, and there are certain activities that take place where this will be interrupted as the new family dynamic moves in or comes around, take time when they're not around to reframe who you are. So when they do come around, they see the new you. They're not going to accept it right away. It's going to be new. It's going to be different. They may not even notice for a while, but you will. And the more comfortable you are, and the stronger you are, and the more you trust that the simple decision you made, it was the right one in either direction, the more things will change for you and everybody around you. So those are your options. If you'd like help, or if you just want to talk about something like that, I'm not a therapist. I'm a coach. And as a coach, what I do is I listen to you. We make outlines for the things that you're discussing, talking about wanting to do, goals that you're setting, things that you may want to accomplish, fulfillment in your life. And we find the things that are most important and we map a plan to get there. And I can help hold you accountable. I know that sucks and sounds terrible, but sometimes we all need some accountability. Trust yourself. The number one thing to being able to trust a decision that you make, keep it simple. Don't make a bazillion decisions that you have to reevaluate every 2 seconds. Make it simple, make it compelling, make it part of your growth, and trust it. I trust that you enjoy this. I trust that you're a great person. Listen, I believe everybody's a good person at heart. I really do. I do. I believe that. And most people want to be good. They really do. Go out and show them how. I love you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, on your mark, get set, grow. For you.